everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shaki, and today we're freaking the fuck out because it's June and we have Goodreads goals to meet. So today I'm going to be having a bash and putting my own spin on the mid-year freakout tag. I believe I did this also last year, but I can't actually remember 100%. I think I did, but I don't actually know. So I will link it if I did, and I'll insert a clip of me being like, nope, I didn't, if I didn't. But if I did, it will be linked up above and down below for you to go and watch it. But this is going to be the 2019 version of me kind of just giving you an update on my reading and how it's been going so far this year. So I did set out to read 100 books this year, which works out about, 8 a month to a week, that kind of jazz, which is double what I was reading last year. I, so far in the year 2019, have read 55 books. Oh my goodness. So I am over halfway done with my Goodreads goal now, which is great. It's a bonus. I love reading so much and I can't wait to read loads more. I'm not gonna lie, it has been very stressful. It hasn't been the most plain sailing of targets to reach, but I'm getting there. I only have 45 left to go. The first question in the mid-year freakout tag is the question I'm sure is on all of your lips. And the first question is, what has been your favourite book so far this year? I have narrowed it down to 4, very nicely. So these 4 books are all my favourites of this year so far, for multiple reasons in their own reasons. The first one I'm sure you won't be surprised to see in my tag or in anyone else's tag, and that is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book is absolutely everything to me. I believe I gave it a very high 4-star rating. It's just an incredible book and introduced me to Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing style, and I love her. Next one is Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. I just felt like a teenager again reading these for the very first time, and it just transported me back to a place and feelings if I had read this at the same time as everyone else. It takes a very good cast of characters, world, and a very talented author to do so, so that's why it's one of my favourite books of this year. The third book that has been my favourite during this year was actually a reread. I'm not sure if this counts, but I'm gonna make it count, and that is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I read this last year and I really didn't appreciate it enough for what it was, and I reread it this year and it blew my fucking mind, so that's the reason why this is up there. And the last book I'm going to be answering as my favourite books is Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is not a book by any means, it is a comic / graphic novel, but it really introduced me to the comic book and graphic novel world, and I think it also pops up for a different question as well, and I love it. It's such a good world, it's such a good premise, and I can't wait for the 3rd installment to get at my door because I'll be reading it straight away. Next question surrounds the best sequel that I have read in the year of 2019, and that is by far Saga Volume 2. Yes, I did just mention this comic book graphic novel series, but again, it kind of gave me the tools and knowledge that I needed to know going into other graphic novels as well, and I really thoroughly enjoy this. It's one of the first ones I've ever read, and it was amazing. The next question is, what is a new release that you haven't read yet? It's still going unread on your shelves. And for me, that is Dear Evan Hansen by Val Emmett. I've heard some really questionable things about this, but when I saw this on the buy one get one half price table at Waterstones, I knew that I just simply had to have it. This was released, I think, last year, but the paperback came out really recently, and I still haven't read it. It is still going unread on my shelves, and I really need to get to it to form my own opinions and not just to listen and consume everyone else's ideas. The next question is all about new releases that I'm anticipating for the next half of the year, and these both include The Toll by Neil Shusterman, which is the 3rd and final installment in the Ark of Size trilogy / series / please make more books, Neil. I am so excited for this conclusion because obviously Thunderhead left on a fucking huge cliffhanger. So many things went wrong in that last few chapters for the characters, and I need to know what happens after that. Another new release coming out in 2019, actually in a few weeks, is this Pan's Labyrinth book. I'm not actually sure who it's by, but apparently it's an adaptation of a book that surfaced before Pan's Labyrinth was a movie, or around the time that it was made as a movie, and it just didn't take off in the way that Del Toro and the other writers wanted it to, so they decided to republish it because there's been a revamp of love for Pan's Labyrinth, including in my own heart heart and everyone else's as well, and they've decided to republish it because why the fuck not? They want it to do well, and I'm so fucking ready to buy at least 3 copies. The next question of this checkpoint of 2019 reads is books that have been disappointments. I have 2 disappointments, and the first one is Odd One Out by Nick Stone. Now, I thought this was going to be a really nice bisexual love triangle, everyone was going to be really respectful, and for me, it just didn't hit the mark. It was actually kind of lesbophobic and biphobic in some parts, and I do feel like it wasn't as well executed as it should have been. I do have a full spoiler-free review of this on my channel, so I leave it down below and up above so you can go and watch it and see my full thoughts. I will also leave my Goodreads review down below, but yeah, this just wasn't it, and it really disappointed me this year. My next disappointing read was Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan. Now, this was a reread for me, and it is possible to be more disappointed by certain books, and although I raised the rating from my last reread of this, I just was really disappointed in the way that John Green's novels haven't aged properly. So I'm hosting something called the John Green-a-thon this year, which is basically a year-long readathon of reviewing and talking about and reading John Green's books. And this was the book for April, I believe. And I was so disappointed with the way that Tiny was represented in this book. And you can see my dismay in the live show and my review, which I'll link down below and up above and stuff. But yeah, I was really disappointed in the way that it spoke about women and Tiny. I just was really disappointed in that because I thought John Green was a good egg, and this was not it. Again, moving swiftly on, now we're going to be talking about some books that have surprised me. Now, I only have one for this, and it is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This surprised me because I honestly thought I was not going to like it. I didn't have access to the audiobook because I'm not about to pay again for a book when I've already just purchased it. I read this on a whim for a book club that I used to be in, so I picked it up because it was on offer in Tesco one day, and I was like, you know what, I might as well just try it. I'm never going to know if I don't try it. I fucking loved this book. I thought I was going to hate it because of the format, because it's told in like a script form, but I read screenplays before, I read scripts before, nothing really changed in that respect. I just kind of pictured it more as a film rather than a book, which is totally fine by me. I loved Daisy. I found myself relating to her and her self-destructive path and her falling in love with the wrong people at the wrong times. And I also loved all the side characters apart from Graham and Billy, but never mind. The next question is all about a new to you author or a debut author who has kind of like surprised you in a way. I'm gonna go with Christina Lauren because I read Autobiography in the Zodiac-a-thon in 2019 and I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I recently figured out that Christina and Lauren are 2 different people. These 2 authors are not debut authors at all. They have a lot of books out, but they're new to me and I absolutely love their work. Now, they're auto buys for me. You guessed it, she's popping up again in another person's tag, and I've already mentioned this book 3 times now in the previous question, and that is Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read both Daisy Jones and the Six and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo this year, and I absolutely love both of them. Daisy a little bit more than Evelyn, but I really enjoyed both of them. I think they were absolutely smashing, and they introduced me into Taylor Jenkins Reid's work, and I love her now. And again, auto buy. Such a good author. Such a good author. Hi, and welcome to the part of the video where Shakira just talks about Shadowhunters. Yeah. Happens every time. The next question I think you've all kind of been expecting is who has been one of my new fictional crushes of 2019. This book was one of the first books that I gave a 5 out of 5 stars, and that is again Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. I fell in love with 2 characters during this read. I fell in love with Charlotte Bramwell, which I'm guessing you didn't expect me to say because I absolutely love her so much, and the infamous Will Herondale. I love him so much. My lock screen on my phone is now a picture of him, like a tarot card of him. You know what? I would die for you, Will. I would fucking die for you. Next question is about a fictional character that you just love. My answer is going to be City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. Again, a Shadowhunter book. Are we fucking surprised? In particular, the character of Simon really just spoke to me in this book, and I love him now. He's one of my new favourite characters of the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and I love him. I truly do love him. I love his sense of humour, I love how heroic he is, I love how dedicated he is, I love his growth as well. I think Cassie really wrote him in a way that he went from like teenage boy, such as Clary, and the unrequited love, and now he's like just badass. You'll be pleased to know that this is the last time I'm going to be mentioning the Shadowhunter Chronicles in this video. Wow, everyone just cheer now. But the next question is to talk about a book that made you cry, and the book that made me cry was Clockwork Princess. Oh yeah, I was bawling the entire time. I don't even want to talk about it. tears were fucking shed. On the other end of the spectrum, we have to talk about a book that makes us happy, and that for me is Simon versus the Homo sapiens Gender by Becky Albertalli. A bitch has it signed. A bitch has it signed. So Simon versus Homo sapiens Gender makes me so happy because it's a really positive, fluffy, anyone can kind of read it contemporary book, and I love this book so much. It does have some problematic comments on bisexuality I think I personally picked up on, but it's great. It's like, it makes me so fucking happy, and rereading it this year was amazing, and it continually makes me happy every single year. The next question is all about our favourite book to movie or TV adaptation. Now, I haven't seen a book to movie adaptation this year, I don't think. So I'm gonna have to say that I don't have an answer for this one. I wish I could give you one, but I can't. So, wah, wah, wah. The second to last question of this tag is a beautiful book that you have bought this year, and I was gonna have to go with Princess in Practice by Connie Glynn. Look at this cover. It is baby pink and it's got fucking galaxy print. It is incredible. Both this and the first book in the series are absolutely stunning. Like, these are probably up there with the best and prettiest books I have ever owned. And the final question of this tag is, what 6 books would you like to get to by the end of the year? Well, considering I have 45 more to read, I think I'll get to these 6. The first one I'm going to mention is Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer. This is the sequel to Renegades, but I do need to reread Renegades first because it wasn't rushed, but I have forgotten some things about it, and I just want to like treasure it, and I want to like do parallels between them. I want to do like reviews and stuff. I just need to reread it, okay? That is the one reason I haven't picked this up yet. It's also fucking huge. I would really like to get to this and also reread Renegades beforehand by the end of the year. That would be great. The next book I would like to get to kind of on my priority list is Once and Future by Amy Rose Capetta and Corey McCarthy. I want to read this because apparently it has a non-binary character within it. I think it's the main character. It might be, but I'm not entirely sure. But I really want to read it because of that reason. I'm genderqueer, I'm gender fluid, and I cannot wait to be represented by someone in a book, in a fantasy book, and it'd just be great. It's going to be fucking awesome. Next, I would really like to get to The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman. I bought this ages ago when it very first came out, I think on its release day, and it's gorgeous. This has a very, very significant hype to it, and I'm very nervous, and I want to get to it as soon as possible. But October, we've got a date. The next book I really like to get to before the year is out is Pulp by Robin Talley. Now, this is my best friend's favourite book, one of her favourite books, and I really like to get to it because I think it's really cute. It's about a gay author. I mean, what else could you need? The fifth book I really want to get to this year is Beartown by Frederick Backman. I was supposed to read with Seasons in summer, and I didn't end up taking part because I felt really ill that day and I just wanted to sleep it off. But I was supposed to read this in the summer round, and I really would like to get to it before the end of the year. The last and 6th book I would really like to get to at least by the time 2019 ends is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Young. I have this signed! A bitch has it signed. But I really want to read this by the end of the year because I've heard so many good things about it. Look at that cover. It's fucking amazing. And I would just really like to read it because it seems interesting to me, and now I have a signed copy, and you bet I'm going to brag about it for the end of the time. End of the time, end of time. So that is my mid-year freak out tag done and dusted for this year. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give a massive thumbs up and subscribe. I make videos on this channel whenever I could fucking have time. I wasn't tagged to this. You can be tagged by me if you would like to. I'm not going to be tagging anyone in particular because I feel like tags, you don't really need to tag anyone anymore. But, you know, just go ahead and do it if you really want to. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time that I upload. Bye!
You've got a face for a smile, you know. A shame you're wasted when you're breaking me slowly. But I've got a word